Welcome to Whatever Happened to Pizza at McDonald's, the investigative journalism program where I ask the question, Whatever happened to the pizza at McDonald's? I'm your host, Brian Thompson. As longtime listeners may recall, I took a short break from producing this program over the holidays at the end of the year 2022. This allowed me some valuable time to rest, relax, and engage in some light, recreational, investigative journalism. During this hiatus, there were some major advancements in the world of artificial intelligence, specifically the popularity of an application called ChatGPT. Launched in November of 2022 by a company called OpenAI, ChatGPT is an interface which uses machine learning to generate intelligent responses to text-based prompts submitted by users. Using this technology, people can carry on conversations with the artificial intelligence, ask the artificial intelligence questions, or even force the artificial intelligence to perform tasks which would otherwise require a fair amount of human education and labor. Many have been alarmed by some of the more negative implications of this technology. In theory, an artificial intelligence program such as ChatGPT could replace human workers such as reference librarians. Rather than telephoning your local library to inquire if their missing copy of the DVD of Willow 1 has ever been recovered, one might simply log on to the library's website and pose the same question to an AI helper. Educators have also expressed distress that students could use AI technology to write essays for their class assignments. Some such AI-generated essays on perennial academic topics such as what world events sparked World War I and why Chaucer couldn't have written the Canterbury Tales with a little less toilet humor have already been submitted by human students, and the consensus among educators is that the AI-generated papers are only marginally dumber than those written by real teens. Thankfully, there are many safeguards in place against allowing AI technology to ruin civilization. For example, most reference librarians belong to the powerful Librarians Union, which many years ago negotiated a contract that prohibits management from replacing any librarian with any type of robot, automaton, android, skin synth, cyborg, clone, or metal man. In fact, it is almost impossible to terminate a library worker for any reason, a fact of which I became aware when I tried to have one of my local librarians fired for refusing to file a police report about a certain missing DVD. And when it comes to the academic issue, the solution is simple. Teachers will just give every student essay a failing grade until an anti-technological revolution results in the AI computers being smashed and burned by mobs of loincloth-wearing troglodytes. But what are the implications of artificial intelligence when it comes to more important issues, such as McDonald's pizza matters, etc.? Well, I am afraid the implications are quite minor. I view investigative journalists such as myself as basically detectives. True, there are many differences, not least being the fact that, unlike a detective, I am eligible for multiple awards. But we are both in the business of solving mysteries. And by definition, solving a mystery involves learning information that has heretofore, ergo and henceforth, been unknown. Such information is rather difficult to come by when consulting with an AI technology such as ChatGPT. When posed a query, ChatGPT researches previously published information and quickly arranges it in a somewhat intelligent manner that can be easily consumed by the questioner. This would certainly provide the benefit of saving some time researching the question across a wide range of websites, databanks, etc. But for someone like myself who has already read every piece of published information about McDonald's pizza in the known universe, such an aggregation of said information would not be of much benefit. Not to mention the fact that much information about McDonald's pizza is not even available in electronic form, and can only be uncovered via physical, real-world research. For example, if I were to ask ChatGPT if the inventor of McDonald's pizza was perhaps building upon a recipe encoded in his or her genetic code and passed down the generations all the way from prehistory, the artificial intelligence would not be physically capable of doing the basic due diligence that I have done by digging through the trash of every living corporate McDonald's chef and gathering genetic materials that I can submit for DNA analysis, such as stray hairs, used band-aids, and loose fingernail clippings. Even if there were some hypothetical situation where ChatGPT could upload itself into a robot body and go digging through the trash of these chefs in the real world, it would most likely be blasted to bits by a shotgun-wielding neighbor who understandably mistakes it for an assassin droid. On the other figurative hand, if I, a flesh-and-blood human being, were caught doing the same thing, I would simply be dismissed as nothing more than a run-of-the-mill neighborhood pervert. Compounding this limitation, AI chatbots are also known to combine the pieces of information they scrape from the internet in ways that are often inaccurate or even nonsensical. I encountered just such a situation when I asked ChatGPT how McDonald's pizza tasted. Keep in mind that suspiciously shortly before they were forced to remove it from the menu, I tried original recipe McDonald's pizza in the desolate hamlet of Pomeroy, Ohio. For the sake of thoroughness, I sampled both personal and family-sized varieties, so I know for a fact that the answer to the question, "How did it taste?" is pretty good for the price. However, this is the response I received from ChatGPT, and I quote, "McDonald's pizza tasted like undercooked frozen pizza. It did not have much flavor and was generally considered to be too greasy. Many people found it to be unsatisfactory, and the pizzas were discontinued in the early 2000s. Unquote. Most listeners need not have me debunk the many falsehoods in this response, so in the interest of time, I will leave them bunked. But while the artificial intelligence clearly gathered these non-facts from somewhere, it is not intelligent enough to know whether they came from a reputable source or from somewhere else. For example, a prankster's subreddit called r/outrageous lies. As a further test, I confronted ChatGPT with one of the mysteries surrounding McDonald's pizza that is still mysterious, namely whether or not it had a cornmeal-dusted crust. The AI responded thusly, and I quote, "No, McDonald's did not offer a cornmeal-dusted crust. Their pizza offerings featured a double-thick crust made with Italian herbs, olive oil, and garlic butter spreadable topping." Unquote. The AI's answer regarding the cornmeal-dusted crust is unverifiable at this time and has a 50-50 chance of being true, but this unsolicited description of McDonald's pizza's crust as being be-herbed, be-oiled, and be-buttered is, pardon my frankness, poppycock. In fact, the only useful use I have used when using ChatGPT is to use the service for the production of light entertainment. In addition to being an investigative journalist, I am also what is known as a creative, meaning I am blessed with the God-Ben-David-given talent to create fictional characters and worlds that interact with each other in entertaining ways. However, I am somewhat short on time due to the aforementioned investigative journaling, so I often am unable to write down the stories I have dreamed up in my head with my aforementioned talent. This is where ChatGPT comes in. One of my creative colleagues is a gentleman named Amar Reshi, who used ChatGPT and an artificial intelligence-powered image generator to create a fully illustrated children's book called Alice and Sparkler. I believe I know what some of you are thinking. You are thinking, why would someone need to use artificial intelligence to write a children's book? Are not children's books perhaps the easiest things in the world to write? Could not even the dimmest of dolts do such a thing without employing the help of a chatbot? The answer to all of these questions is yes. But sometimes even adults do not have as much time in the day as they would like to devote to creative pursuits. I applaud the efforts of Mr. Reshi, and I hope he emerges victorious from the many lawsuits filed against him on behalf of the artists whose works the AI copied and pasted to make the illustrations in his book. And following in his proverbial footsteps, I too have taken advantage of the time-saving features of ChatGPT to write my own story. I simply asked the computer to imagine a scene wherein two loving parents break the news to their child that McDonald's no longer serves pizza. I hope this story brings you as much entertainment as it brought me. And I hope that whatever committees are responsible for awarding awards to short fiction are fully aware that even though this story was written by a computer, it was all my idea. Breaking the News by Brian Thompson. Additional writing services provided by ChatGPT. As told to Brian Thompson. The mother and father looked at each other with sad, knowing eyes. It was a day they had been dreading, a day that would change their son's world forever. They knew that their son's favorite food was no longer going to be available, and the news would crush him. They called him into the kitchen and sat him down at the table. The boy, sensing that something was wrong, looked up at his parents with a sense of dread. "Son, we need to tell you something," the mother began, her voice quivering. "McDonald's has stopped serving pizza." The boy looked at his mother, confusion etched across his face. "What? No more pizza? Why?" The father cleared his throat and took over. "We don't know why, son, but it's not just our local McDonald's. They've stopped serving pizza at every location, and they're not sure if they're ever going to bring it back." The boy's mouth dropped open, his eyes wide with shock. "But that's not fair," he protested. "What am I supposed to eat now?" The mother reached out and took the boy's hand. "We know it's hard, sweetheart. We loved McDonald's pizza just as much as you did. But we have to find new things to enjoy together, new memories to make." The boy hung his head and let out a deep sigh. "I don't want anything else. I just want McDonald's pizza," he muttered. The mother and father exchanged a look of sadness, knowing that their son's childhood had just been irrevocably altered. They hugged him tightly, trying to comfort him as best they could. Days turned into weeks, and weeks turned into months. The family tried new restaurants and new dishes, but nothing could replace the joy they had found in McDonald's pizza. The boy grew sullen and distant, no longer the happy-go-lucky child he once was. One day, the father came home with a surprise. "I heard some news today, son," he said, with a smile on his face. "McDonald's is considering bringing pizza back. They're doing a trial run in a few locations." The boy's eyes lit up with hope, a glimmer of excitement returning to his face. "Really? When can we go try it?" The father smiled, his heart full of love for his son. "As soon as it's available, we'll go. And we'll make new memories together." And now, a word from our sponsor. For years now, Stamps.com has offered a free postage scale for every new customer. With your own postage scale, you can weigh your mail from the comfort of your own home, office, or home office. But it has become increasingly clear that many people sign up for the shortest possible Stamps.com subscription, fully aware that they will cancel it as soon as possible and keep their scale. Stamps.com knows this because every time someone cancels their subscription, they're given the opportunity to explain why in a little text box on the Stamps.com website, which just happens to be Stamps.com. The number one reason given is, quote, "just wanted the free scale," unquote. Well, the free ride is over. If you sign up for Stamps.com, you will still get your scale. And Stamps.com will not even make you sign anything promising you will return it if you cancel your subscription. But if you do not return it, there will be consequences, and you will not like them. Stamps.com. Give them back their scale, or else. Do you know what happened to pizza at McDonald's? Do you remember it? Please send all correspondence to pizza@mcdonalds@gmail.com. To support the show, please join my Patreon at patreon.com/pizza@mcd's for exclusive benefits. And for more information, including important announcements, useful links, etc., visit pizza@mcdonalds.com. Thank you to my invaluable Patreon producers: David Friedman, Grant Bacon, Isabella Zelaskowski, Jacob Ford, Joe Kachik, Kimberly King, Kyle Tarak, Pam Gabriel, Troy Babs, Will, Andrew Duffy, Andrew Ahmed Johnson Rubin, Billy Jean, Brad Allen Thompson, Felix Dooley, Farrell Housecat, Gerald Lewis, Beaver Snatch McGinty, Jay Poop, Calvin Thomas, Kat Resney, Kim Pottlesnick, Laurel Paul, Mel, Mitchell Kordick, Opus Mareshi, Paulie Egan, Dan Dreyer, Nicole Besta, Dan Dreyer, Nicole Besta, and Ryan Guggenmoss. I'm Brian Thompson, investigative journalist.